Tell me, Muse, about the man of many turns, who many ways wandered when he had sacked Troy's holy citadel. This is how Homer invoked the Muses before singing the story of the hero Odysseus, brave warrior who, with his shrewdness, helped the Greeks to cross the divine walls of Troy. Among all the heroes who survived the ravages of war, Odysseus was the only one who had not yet returned home. On Mount Olympus, the gods gathered in an assembly. Zeus, high on his throne, spoke about how men blame all their ills on the gods, when in fact most of their misfortunes were the result of their own choices and follies, and for that they paid the price for their sins. At this point, Athena intervened and asked why Odysseus, the wise king of the island of Ithaca, even though he was God-fearing, continued to suffer away from his beloved homeland. The goddess lamented the hero's fate, who had been stranded for 7 years on the island of Ogygia. There, the beautiful nympho Calypso, daughter of Atlas, was keeping him on her island because she wanted to have him as her husband. Zeus explained that he was not responsible for Odysseus not having returned home yet, but rather Poseidon, who felt hatred for the hero ever since he pierced the eye of the god's son. But at that moment, Poseidon was in faraway Ethiopia, where he was worshipped. Therefore, he did not participate in the assembly. With the approval of the Council of the Gods, Zeus decreed that Odysseus had the right to return to his home. Zeus's favorite daughter was pleased, stating that she would go to Ithaca to find Telemachus, Odysseus's son. Zeus ordered Hermes, the messenger god, to go to the island of Ogygia to order Calypso to free Odysseus. Hermes put on his winged sandals and set off to fulfill the god's wishes. The island of Ogygia was in the navel of the sea. It was a place where the vegetation grew exuberantly and the breeze blew gently, but strong waves pummeled its coastline. There, Calypso tried in every way to convince Odysseus to stay with her, and even offered him immortality. But Odysseus knew that he was just a mere mortal. It was wrong to desire immortality, for his place was not among the gods, but beside his family. Hermes entered the cave where Calypso lived, being received by the nymph with all reverence. The divine messenger informed Calypso that, by order of Zeus, she was to free Odysseus and secure the means necessary for his journey. The nymph was enraged, saying that the Olympian gods were envious, that they were not pleased with the happiness of the lesser deities when they relate to mortals. But Calypso knew that she could do nothing against Zeus's will. Sometimes her heart broke when Odysseus cried and sighed with homesickness. After delivering the message, Hermes left, and the saddened Calypso went to meet Odysseus. As usual, Odysseus was by the sea, thinking about his beloved Penelope. Calypso told him to stop crying, for he could finally return home. Odysseus, surprised and skeptical, looked back suspiciously, telling the nymph that he could stay if that was her will. The nymph laughed at the wily Odysseus, who, although he wanted to return home more than anything else in his life, knew better than to anger a deity. She told him not to worry, for she spoke the truth. His time on the island of Ogygia was coming to an end. Calypso pointed out to Odysseus the places where he could find the materials needed to build a raft, as well as explaining to him the design of the boat, so that it could withstand the waves. Odysseus did everything as he was ordered, and finally the transport that would help him reach his home was ready. The nymph handed Odysseus supplies for the journey, telling him that, if he knew the dangers that still awaited him, he would have chosen to stay. But the king of Ithaca would not waste that opportunity. Odysseus and Calypso said goodbye, and with the help of favorable winds brought by Calypso, Odysseus set off toward his destination.